right. All right, all right, all right. So the next week is gone. This year is flying by. So I wanted to show you before I did these. I made them at the size that it said online to make for a size 9 foot. And the guy's a size 8. So I put them in the dryer for a bit. And now I just have them laying out, and I pulled them to get to just the right size. And so they really do seem like they are the same size. How often do I ever get 2 of something the same size? I will tell you, not very often. So, you know, it's so different making man socks, big. So I've got a little box I'm gonna put them in. I'm gonna write right on the top, wool, hand wash, lay flat to dry, to shrink, put in dryer. And then I will just put them in the box and give them to him. And then what other shenanigans? Oh, do you remember the Super 8 greens? They have changed to 8 greens. This is the packaging. And I will tell you, they are not the same. I don't like them. And if I've ever recommended something on here that I think is great, and then I find out that it's changed or something and I don't like it, I'm gonna tell you. So I bought them and I don't like them. They've changed. I think there's more sugar in them. They just don't seem light and bright. They don't dissolve as well. You know, I mean, I love the fact that they're still saying contains 15 cups of broccoli, or the same vitamin B5 as, the same vitamin B6 as 6 cups of spinach, the same vitamin C as 6 oranges, and the same zinc as 3 cups of peas. I need more of the B's and the zincs in my diet. I have a hard time taking those supplements on their own. I found in this drink that was just great, but now that it's different, I don't love it as much. It's not as easy to do. I should have been done with these weeks ago, and I'm just not. This is full. Because it doesn't taste the same. I don't like it. And if you don't like it, you're not going to drink it. And I liked that it was light and whatevs. Whatevs. Tick me off. Remember this? Some of my pages got smushy. I don't quite understand why, but what do I care? I don't care. And then I came to realize that it was going to be hard to fill each square perfectly. So I decided I didn't have to. You say, Laura, what does that mean? So here's the key to doing something like this. Make yourself a chart. And in the 99 spot, I put a $100 bill, and I marked it and the one off. So now, I did that last week. So now I'm gonna put a piece of paper in the 1 spot, just so I know it's actually full. And then I also realized this week, I had a couple of 50s, so I found a couple of 5s. I am going to put a 50 in the 48 slot, because I can then mark off 48 and 2. So I can now mark off 48 and 2. Here's the thing, I already had the 2 marked off. So you know what I can do? I can take this out and put it in with a 5 in the 7 slot. I know that this is not pristine and perfect and whatever, but I'm finding that it's, now I put a piece of paper in the 2 slot, and now I can put in this in the 7 slot. So now I have 48 and 2, and then I've got the 7 marked off. So now I know that I have all these spots marked off. And in the future, if I find that I have an extra 100, I might put it in the 97 spot, take this 3 and put it with a 5 in the 8th slot, and just keep moving things around in whatever manner. Just because it's in the pouch doesn't mean it has to stay in the pouch, people. This is still your money. You can move it around and get things filled up, because I'm not doing like 1 square a day. I'm trying to fill out like 3 or 4 squares a week in hopes that in 6 months, I can have the 99 squares filled out. And so that's how I'm doing it. That's how I'm playing this game. And it should be kind of fun, like a game. I think it's going to be easier to get the lower numbers than the higher numbers. So we'll just see how it goes. And that's why I'm going to use some of the, use a $100 bill to meet a 60 and a 40. You know, that kind of stuff, to get stuff to fill out. And then if I manage to get a $100 bill and I've got a 95 to meet a 5, but I've already got a $5 bill in there, I can move that somewhere else to fill in something else. And that's just what I'm going to do to be able to do this and do it it would be great to get it done, like to get one of these done a year. Because here's the thing, if you manage to get all the squares from 1 to 99 filled in the course of a year, you've saved, what's the number? $49.50. So that's almost $5,000. I think that's a challenge for anybody to save $5,000. That's why I anticipate there's going to be weeks in here where I'm not going to be putting stuff in. And I don't tend to have a lot of cash. I've got some cash now because of Christmas. And so that's what's motivating me now to get started on this. And the comment my daughter made to my son, which is, "You're not moving out at 18, are you?" And I've got people that I know who are like trying to help their kids move out. We helped our oldest, and if I'm not planning ahead, I'm not going to have money to help him. And here's the thing. It might be nice to be able to write him a check, but if you can't do that and you can hand him even the numbers 1 through 90 total just over $4,000, $4,095. So you look it up online and you figure out your numbers. And it's not like exactly half, because this is kind of compounding. So, but you figure out what you can do and you give it to them. And even if you were able to give a 3-ring binder with $49.50 in it in cash to somebody moving out for the first time, that's cash for groceries, that's cash for going out to eat or eating lunches at work. That's something. That's absolutely something. And if there's enough $100 bills tucked throughout this thing, that there might be 10 or 15 of them, that's a month's rent. And that's also why I'm realizing that the larger bills are really my friend in helping to fill this out. I don't know. I just think you got to do some stuff, and I think it will teach them, oh my gosh, this is like Mom's little bit of walking. We went with my daughter this week to take my dad grocery shopping, and she doesn't normally go with. And on the way back down, because he lives on the 4th floor, which is very uncommon, they went in the elevator, and I'm like, I'm going to walk down the stairs. And later, when he wasn't with us, she's like, why did you walk down the stairs? And I said, because I'm 53, and I want to be as healthy as I can be as long as I can be. We don't have a lot of stairs where we live in Arizona, so we're not walking up and down stairs very often. So for me to be able to walk down 4 flights of stairs, it's working some different muscles. It's a little bit different. And I said, sometimes if Grandpa's in a really bad mood or upset, I don't. I stay with him. But if he's in a good mood and it gives you guys a few minutes to chat, then I'll do that. And I'll make a game of it and be like, I bet you I'll beat ya. And I did. I beat them. And it was a little bit of fun. And I don't know. I just think we gotta tell kids this stuff nowadays. They don't seem to pick things up by paying attention the way that other generations did. And with that in mind, I picked out the colors and I was thinking John Deere. So I still have 6 more squares to go. And I don't love this orange. It really does look John Deere to me, but I don't love the orange. So I'm not gonna do anything after. I'm just gonna get the other squares attached and then that's it. And that's the blanket I'm sending to my young friend. Because I don't love it. I think he will love it. I think he will love it. I don't think his wife will love it, but I think he will love it. And I'm sending it for his encouragement because he doesn't have a family that's very encouraging. So, you know, I'm like an extra grandma in his life. So there you go. That's what we've been working on this week. And it is getting all of a sudden like more spring. As long as I keep washing my hair every day and drying it out, which I don't actually like to do, and I only wash it once or twice a week. I just re-wet it in the mornings, put some more goop in it, which I don't like to use a lot of products, which might be why I can't get the styles that I like. But I did buy a big thing of hairspray because I do a little bit of hairspray this time of year because things are so staticky, and I believe the hairspray does help tame it down. But I don't just like spray it. I put it in my hands and I just, when we're done. Still not thrilled. Very, very tempted to chop it all off. But I just don't want to cause the drama in the household. So I'm not. We were super motivated after last weekend's cat fiascos, cat cafes, that we were gonna do, you know, some more cat furniture in the house and whatever. And I just didn't jump on it. We got home and I assessed our cats and I'm like, you know, because most of our cats are indoor outdoor, I don't think they need it. And I'm not gonna spend cleaning, because you gotta clean these things. And I'm vacuuming these things and I'm doing stuff to get the cat hair off of them. But I don't think that they'd really like it. I don't want to put any in the bedrooms because I don't want them to be going to town in the middle of the night waking us up. So I think I'm going to pass on that. But the one thing I did decide was maybe I would get an enclosed litter box piece of furniture and try an enclosed litter box. I mean, I've done it in the past, but that was years ago with different cats. And it just seems like our litter box stuff is a mess most of the time. And my son is supposed to be vacuuming, cleaning it at least once a week. He's not. I don't know how he thinks I don't notice because I'm the one doing it. And then next year, when he's not doing anything, he's supposed to be ramping up his social family contributions. Well, I don't see that happening. Because I really believe that what he does now is being done in the last minutes instead of well. And that's a teenage thing, and I'm not going to criticize him for it or, you know, get up in his face, but I'm trying very hard to be a consistent, good, happy mom. And it's so hard in the middle of puberties. Because my 17-year-old is just finally kind of digging into teenage. And then my soon-to-be 10-year-old is digging into PMS. And when is that actually going to start? Because it feels like it already has. And that's nothing against her. I can't even imagine. I wasn't that young. I can't imagine. But one comment was made that we have good kids last weekend. And someone said it must be the parenting. I don't honestly know about that. I think sometimes you have the good kids, yes, as a combination of them, your parenting, and just consistency. They're good kids because we give them attention. Our life's kind of boring. We err on the side of boring. We've always believed that we should err on the side of boring and give them time to feel their feelings. My daughter, after the whole Valentine's Day thing, was really upset when she had to go through her Valentine's bags and take out all this candy that she can't eat right now because of her allergies. And so she went and cried in her room, and I finished the project. And we went and talked about it. I went in and talked to her about it. I explained, the reason we're being hypervigilant, because we can't prove that some of these have actual strawberry in them, but if it's strawberry flavored and says there's natural flavorings, it could be citric acid that's natural. I don't know. But you don't want to risk it. And she did get one candy for Christmas in mass, in bulk, that has natural flavorings in it, and it says it has the same flavorings as their strawberry version, just to a lesser extent. This is a type of candy that has all different kinds of fruit flavors. And the big argument online is, well, how can you get away with having the same flavorings and same natural and artificial flavorings for strawberry as you can watermelon? Well, because you can. Because some Lifesavers says they use natural strawberry to enhance their grape and their pineapple flavors. Who knew? And so we talked about how maybe the reason she had such a bad reaction was because she'd had a little bit of this candy like every day for a bunch of days, and it really wasn't doing anything. And then all of a sudden, when she had another thing at school, it just sent her over that line. If you are a person who's dealt with allergies, some people think this is bupkis, and other people die on this hill. That your system only has so much capacity for allergens before it's going to react in an inflammatory way. Hives, redness, and God forbid you go over the next line of anaphylaxis. Some people say, oh, I have an allergy. But it's really only a sensitivity. But if they have a sensitivity to a bunch of different things, and at some point one of them tips over the line, then you get in these different levels. That's what I believe. I believe that our bodies can only take so much, and I believe when you are already at a diminished capacity, your reserve is much less, and things like colds and flus will get you more easily if you're diminished. Sensitivities, allergies will get you, hopefully, in the realm of allergies, not over that anaphylaxis point, because that would be god-awful. I personally have experienced allergies that even with Benadryl over the course of many days, it continued to get worse and worse and worse. But I continued to have exposures to other things that I had sensitivities to, and it was kind of like a snowball. I'd bump into this tree and knock some of the snowball off, feel a little bit better, and then I'm keep going downhill, and I'm gaining all this other momentum until I knock into the next tree, which was the dose of Benadryl, and I'd feel a little bit better, but I'd keep going down that big hill, and I'd get some more snow, and then I'd have another exposure to something else, and I would double, And then the Benadryl didn't make me feel as good. It didn't seem to work as much. And I ended up in the ER with anaphylaxis, with a throat that was closing, with eyes that were swollen shut, hands that I couldn't bend. It was awful. So, I don't know. That's just my experience. And it's hard to deal with this little girl, because she's 9, soon to be 10, and getting her to understand. But I think in the realm of good parenting, sometimes letting them just have to work it out themselves is one of the hardest things. But I think in doing that, they build their own reserves that they then know how to act when you go out in public, and they don't act like crazy people and just, run amok. So that's where we're at. We're just day by day getting through this, week by week, and we're hoping that the end result of all of it is that someday I'll get to lay down peacefully and have a nap and know that the people around me knew I cared because I was here. And I didn't realize when I was younger that just being there meant that much. Because when I grew up, my parents created such a negative home environment that I didn't want them to be there. I wanted them to split up. I felt like that would have been better for me as a child than the constant fighting and walking around on eggshells. And only in the last handful of years have I learned that that's not the case for everyone. Do I wish that I wouldn't have gotten divorced with a child? Yes, absolutely. Would it have been really, really hard? Would we maybe not have learned some of the lessons that we learned as parents along the way? Absolutely. We would have missed out on a lot. And there's the rub. It's the crap and the tough times that really do teach us so much. So we are all going to learn so much in life because stuff keeps happening. But if we can look with our hearts first and not our eyes, because I'm legally blind and I'm going to tell you that all the time, if you can just reach out with your heart, I think that's the key to keep it flowing. So thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. I love that I'm grabbing some new subscribers, trying to find more videos of the animals as spring approaches. It's going to be hit or miss, but I'm really happy that you're here. See you next week.